The most famous Wild West shootout in history only lasted 30 seconds. Now some say 30 seconds is a perfectly adequate amount of time and then you can get a lot done in 30 seconds. Others say she's lying to me, but that's besides the point. It's known as the Shootout at the OK Corral. Now don't worry, you don't have to know what a corral is. To this day, no one knows what a corral is. The fight was between the Earp brothers and the Clanton brothers, who were with the Cowboy Gang. Yes, that's actually the name of their gang. Maybe if they stopped shooting people and took a minute to brainstorm some ideas, they would have a better gang name. Because if your gang name turns into a football team, you did a shitty job. The Earp brothers and the Clanton brothers absolutely hated each other. It was a lot like the Jets and the Sharks from West Side Story, but without all that snapping. The shootout was instigated when the Cowboys robbed a Wells Fargo stagecoach and murdered the driver. The same Wells Fargo that weird people have a bank account with. When you rob people like Henry Wells and William Fargo, you're gonna attract attention. Because the rule of thumb is, when it comes to crime, you can rob the middle class and below all you want. But as soon as you touch a millionaire or a billionaire, you're in trouble. The stage was set. The Earp brothers, alongside their friend who was a dentist with tuberculosis and coughed into people's mouths, rounded the corner, where the Cowboys were in town waiting. They walked towards each other with very awkward eye contact. It's a lot like when you see your friend down the street and you're walking closer to each other and you're not exactly sure when to say hi, because if you say hi too early, then there's a lot of awkward silent walking afterwards and nobody wants that. And according to this documentary, they chose 10 feet away from each other in the middle of the street. And this is where I have comments. Maybe don't just stand in the middle of an open area. Was taking cover not invented yet? I don't understand. I feel like it's pretty intuitive that there are things that can block the bullets. But eventually, they started firing. During the brief but long enough battle where you can still get a lot done, 3 were killed, 3 were wounded, 2 ran away, and 1 was unharmed, who was Wyatt Earp. The deaths were all on the Cowboy side. But that's not to say that the Earps got away scot-free. Morgan Earp took a bullet to the leg. Virgil Earp took a bullet to the shoulder, and Wyatt Earp had to live the rest of his days with probably my least favorite name of all time. His name was Wyatt Berrystrap Earp. 4 bad choices. If that's not God telling you to come up with a cool nickname like Billy the Kid did, I don't know what is. Today, Morgan and Virgil's bullet wounds don't sound life-threatening, but back then, they were. Surgeons didn't know about washing their hands yet, so they can go from wiping their ass 1 minute to digging their hand into your leg the next. It wasn't the bullet that got you, it was the infection. Your leg gets infected with some crazy disease, and then they just chop your leg off. Here's a fun fact to lighten that extremely dark and gross picture I just painted. The shootout wasn't even in front of the OK Corral. It was in front of C.S. Fly's photography gallery and boarding house. A place where you can get your picture taken and also live. But someone had the foresight to know that Shootout at C.S. Fly's photography gallery and boarding house was way too long of a name and wouldn't fit in my YouTube title. So they changed it to Shootout at the OK Corral, despite no one knowing what a corral is.